Well, let's get into picks and bans and see what adjustments Trifecta make. Yes, the early game seemed to work out, but as it went on, they started to struggle. Next up then is what CLG will do. Do you think CLG will change anything here?
I don't think CLG will change anything, but I definitely expect Trifecta to strip away the Athena for themselves more than anything, and that was a huge impact, the Athena engagements. Yeah,
well, it's going to be a Fafnir ban from Trifecta first of all, though. I guess they don't want to have to deal with that, especially with double hunters. The stim from Coerce, so useful with Fafnir, allows them to empower the team.
And I was surprised that CLG's composition really worked with a double physical hunter here. Only having the Athena and the Fafnir for magical damage, they do a decent amount of damage, but not like a traditional mage. Sure. So it was very easy for Trifecta to build physical defense into that comp.
But if it doesn't last long enough, you can't get enough armor online to survive the engagements. Fafnir, Hercules, Terra, Agni, and you heard his name, Janus for Trifecta. I'm so surprised Agni got banned over Janus.
That's true.
That's really interesting.
Definitely one of those gods that if you're not comfortable playing against, you're just going to strip it away here. But against the Janus, it's questionable because that's so much mobility now for Trifecta.
Yeah, we do have a bit of a mix-up here because now you can see CLG have picked up the Ratatoskr for themselves to make sure they take that away from Trifecta.
I thought for sure that Trifecta was going to first pick this Athena. fineokay was not okay for Trifecta to handle, honestly. Yeah. So they're going to have to deal with it one more time.
Maybe it might go into a different role. You never know. It's one of those. That's why I love some of the Guardians, because they can multi-role. They do present so many options in terms of, well, you thunk it was going here, but it don't. It goes over here.
In Europe, Sobek is prioritized. In North America, now it's the Athena. I think certain Guardians are definitely going to see a lot of play at this land.
Well, we do get to see a Nemesis, and that really can shut down some Guardians. Athena can be susceptible to it a little bit, not as much as some of the other Guardians like the Sobeks. Ullr came through again for CLG, so it's almost looking like they may be heading that direction, but they still need another hunter to make that work. Win the counterbans, and Trifecta think that might be the case too, so banning Hachiman.
You can't really ban out Snoopy though.
Yeah.
Not going to happen here. He'll play Kronos, he'll play Soul, he'll play any other physical hunter on top of that. Ullr definitely going to go to Hurriwind. I expect a double physical hunter here from CLG.
But what would you like? Do you really want to see that against a Nemesis? If you're going to see another hunter, which one's solid enough against Nemesis to survive?
It honestly doesn't matter.
Okay.
They're going to get bursted out. Even with Artemis here, yeah, Nemesis can kill Art, but Artemis can do the same and return the favor.
That's very true indeed, especially as the game goes on. All right, Totally, calm down.
Late game, man.
You didn't even mention it. You were like,
Artemis is S tier. Artemis is literally S tier.
She wasn't at the start of the year, thank you. Then she fell, and then all of a sudden she's back. Taco doesn't know what she's talking about when she said S tier, you know, quite clearly. Ganesha, Trifecta for them this time round. So they've got a little bit more CC bringing to them. I do love those Dharmic pillars, slowing everybody down. So plenty of slows I'm noticing on Trifecta. Winged Blades might be the call here, Totally.
Hobwalk is still be a possibility if they really want to run it. But with that composition, I don't see where Hobwalk can really fit. That carpet would be very useful.
Yeah, basically the Atlas of the Yellow River giving, well, slow immunity or cleanse to an extent would be an opportunity for them. But like you said, where would it go? Instead, it's going to be the Artio this time round. Artio, Athena, both flexible to the solo lane, as is Ratatoskr, as we just saw. Where do you think those two are going?
Oh, I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't tell you between solo or jungle here. It's probably going to be Rat jungle here, Athena solo, Artio support.
Better idea, better easy way of asking this. Who's better against Hercules in lane?
Artio would be better, simply because of the cripple. You can basically disrupt him from clearing every time.
So Artio solo. Would you make that call?
Yes.
Okay. That's a good question. Eddie, who do you think's going to win?
I think CLG is going to win here because the way they ran the double physical hunter the last game, and I don't think Trifecta can really handle it here against the cripple. Keep in mind, Hercules can't do his combo against it.
Jingwei can't get away either. Causes a couple of problems there too. Let's get over to casters then. Can CLG 2-0 this and set themselves up potentially for LAN? Let's find out.
We're going to find out indeed. Finch and Tom here. We're going to be going through CLG versus Trifecta Game 2. Such an important one. If CLG are able to win this, they essentially tie themselves to Trifecta, at least record-wise.
Exactly, and game number 1 was really stringent on, or contingent on, the solo lane prowess.
Right.
Watching Scary D and fineokay was pretty much their games to play against each other. That's why we see the ban of the Ymir come out. It's a character that Scary D can control and combat with. He can be that carry. That's why I was happy he was on the Ratatoskr.
Right.
He's going to be able to do the same thing on the Hercules. The Ymir might have been a little bit more devastating. That's why I'm hoping to see the Athena in fineokay's hand again.
Well, who do you all think will win? I choose you, chat, to tell me who's going to win in the Mixer poll. I don't know. I used a bunch of different ones there. One will stick. That's my plan. One will stick.
Yep. He'll, yeah, just, okay.
You don't, yeah?
I don't know if they, what do you want me to say there? Yes, he will continue to try catchphrases until somebody tweets at him and tells him that you like them.
I never said I wanted Twitter's approval. Now, hold up. Whoa, that's a dangerous road to walk down. But CLG versus Trifecta. Everything's going about where we expected. Snoopy going to be... Whoa, I said everything's going to be about where we expected. Okay, it is going to be Scary D playing the Hercules. Okay, so that one is where we were expecting that one to be. Just maybe not exactly where.
Blame the players. Seriously, though, blame the players.
Sure.
So players, here's a little bit of behind the scenes. When players make their custom games, they've got to join in a certain order. That's it.
That's it. That's all it takes to get everything into the right spot there. But we're going to see that matchup, the exact one that Tolly was alluding to on the desk, the Artio up against the Hercules, and that cripple field could potentially shut down a lot of what Hercules wants to do in lane. I'm sure Scary D aware of this matchup, though, and versed in it. We'll see how he's able to handle it, Tom.
Yeah, like I said, I think I would have liked him, or rather on the Athena or the Ratatoskr. But one, I definitely don't want to see Artio jungle. I definitely don't want to see Artio jungle in the hands of Homiefe. And 3, 2, 4, I forget what I'm up to. But my additional point is the fact that the Artio is going to wind up laning really well against Scary D's Hercules.
Bit of a swing after game one in the polls, at least, Efta. 58% going the way of CLG, so a little bit of recency bias, perhaps, from our chat.
Yeah.
They just saw CLG win, so they vote for him in game 2, right? I mean, perhaps they like this draft, though. The Double Hunters did seem strong for him in game 1.
Double Hunter has been strong for a long time. I mean, even before, I think, Season 5, Double Hunter was doing it, and changes there haven't really messed with anything. At the end of the day, I don't think there's a problem with mages or anything in particular. It's just the fact that the middle lane itself is a nice look. NeiruMah not able to defend his purple buff against Jigz.
Zapman was over to help drop the red buff as well. So they tried to defend their jungle, recognizing that Jigz, Snoopy are probably going to have a good bit of jungle, or rather wave clear too.
Yeah.
Now we see CLG go back and grab their own pro buff and then come catch the wave.
Exactly. We saw the play of sending your hunter into the middle lane to gain pressure over there. Obviously, the Ullr is going to have an upper hand there. So Zapman joins and then takes out the red to make sure that Hurriwind's pressure in the middle lane doesn't translate into a jungle invade. But of course, that leaves Trifecta's own purple buff open.
Last game we saw Ratatoskr and Athena. That was sort of the global presence race. This time they're both in the same squad. The trade-off, though, is that Trifecta gets to have Metyankey here on the Janus, as already Mask forced to retreat there in the jungle. And a little bit of trouble for Zapman over in dual lane, as well as Jigz playing very aggressive.
And I love the Metyankey-Janus pairing here. Metyankey has been a character that has just struggled being the hard carry for his team, and that's okay. Kind of identified that mid lane is a big point of contention, but it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to always be your hard carry there. Put a utility player there, and it works out just as well. Metyankey has looked great on characters like Isis, Agni, and Janus.
Homie rotated over to help out since Mask is here in the mid lane, but the pressure heavily going the way of duo lane of CLG, Snoopy and Jigz, really not allowing Zapman and NeiruMah a moment to breathe between the Athena and the Artemis. Already scary enough to consider an Artemis late game, especially if she's able to somehow earn herself a lead here.
Yeah, I mean,
trap into taunting a trap too.
Yeah, the Athena Artemis combo as old school gets. NeiruMah in some trouble as the Hail of Arrows is good.
Snoopy, though, not able to keep the chase up. Zapman finds some decent poke back with the persistent gust to force Snoopy away and not be able to find any more poke onto his support. But the more important damage has already been done. Purple buff going to be available for them to come grab. But Mask is here, Tom. Mask is on the way for the rotation.
Yeah, Mask is going to go follow up and look for at least a punish. Knockup is strong coming out of the Hunter. Mask gets taunted onto the left-hand side. Snoopy running to the right side. Here comes the blink forward from Homiefe the jungler. Slow is good from Snoopy, and Mask is toast. Jigz confirms it. It's first blood for Counterlogic Gaming.
Good rotation. I thought it could potentially be trouble with Mask waiting in the jungle, but a good taunt from Jigz keeps the damage from going on to Snoopy a long enough time for Homie to make that rotation.
Yeah, clean stuff there. Trifecta just really punished hard. Counterlogic Gaming kind of did the predictable path, which was go for the purple buff, and Trifecta was able to sort of collapse and take advantage of it. But Counterlogic Gaming just turned it around there. Honestly, real good play from Jigz, and Snoopy making important use of his slow.
Now, I can't give Jigz enough credit here in this set so far. Playing the Fafnir, I believe, game 1, looking excellent on it there to help control in the team fights. Same again here on the Athena. I mean, you highlighted it last time, one of those mechanically strong supports. You have a lot of them now, but a little bit of an edge coming out for some of them, and Jigz is starting to look like one of the stronger ones.
I mean, he's the original. He was one of the first players to really step up and make the audience go, damn, that support hits everything he tosses out there. Ultimate from Scary D to avoid some of the crowd control, but the rest is coming after the fact.
Scary D has put a ton of damage into Homie, but the defender of Olympus too strong. Taunt pulls him back in through space and time. Could potentially provide an escape route, but never had a chance to take that path. Mass now going to try and take down Jigz, who's looking for the retreat. The slow is too good. Portal locks him down. Jigz traded out 1 for 1, but Mass can end up paying for it with his own life.
Not quite. He's able to wiggle on out of there. Metyankey with an interesting portal. Let's say that. An interesting portal. Kind of hurts Mask, but also confirms the kill as well. Mask trying to back out of the tower.
Not going to be able to. fineokay going to continue to chase him, but ends up taking too long to find the kill. The tower takes him down as well. Big story there for me, though. Metyankey can just rotate faster than Hurriwind.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
that's just how it is.
He walks through walls, to be honest.
Now Hurriwind's still here. Axe goes on to Scary D.
Nice job.
No damage from the Unstable Vortex as Hurriwind jumps away, and a little bit of much ado about nothing down here. Jungle's going to be okay.
Yeah, it's, that said, I mean, still a Midsummer Night's Dream for CLGaming after the play. I mean, he was able to, they are able to maintain an 1,100 gold lead here. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, Artio is a shrew. They are not going to be able to tame this game. I mean, wow. Has he gotten off to a strong start on this Artio play so far as fineokay?
I'm less concerned about the Artio and more looking at the Artemis. I mean, the Artemis just is troublesome because she's excelling early and then come late will just offer the same amount of damage that we're used to. The combination of Jigz and Snoopy is really, really hot right now, and you know it's just working out really, really cleanly. Trifecta need to kind of combat this duo lane really quickly.
Yeah, see if they can get some more attention over here. Homie has been doing a good job with these rotations so far, using through the Cosmos to try and help stretch the map. He is again over in duo lane now, but there's really nothing for them to pressure. Very safe positioning Zapman has, so actually considering the back. But look at the pings. They know he's here. This is not going to be a surprise to Trifecta. They've got some wards on that side of the map too, so they're just letting everyone know where he's at. Through space and time being used. They're trying to catch out Hurriwind, who jumps over the wall.
Yeah, there's a lot of members from CLG on the wrong side of the map, so Trifecta looking to punish that. Ultimate from the Janus comes out. Honestly, I don't think this is a fight that Trifecta actually want to take. It looked like it was juicy because you had so many CLG members sort of in Trifecta's territory, but at the end of the day, it's still a numbers advantage for CLG. So the Janus ultimate comes out, they walk through and go, nope, just kidding, and everyone about faces and turns around.
At the very least, they did get Jigz to use the ultimate as well, but is it really a bit of a win when Metyankey uses his and so does Mask? So they start the fight off, realize they're not really about it. CLG respond appropriately, and it ends up being another fight that doesn't really result in all that much. CLG may have the kill lead, but the match is still very, very close to even. Only about 1,000 gold or so in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, this was just early game prowess from CLGaming, looking to push that forward by looking for the repeated invades rather than a big, large fight into the Gold Fury.
CLG have a lot of members here in the jungle. That could spell trouble for Zapman. Using the spin, can't catch him out, though. But he does not want to give this purple buff up. Tries to use Persistent Gust over the wall to take it down, but not going to be enough. That one's going to be going the way of Jigz, and they strip more farm away from Zapman here in duo. And they're really not trying to send too much help. Now, finally, the rotation comes in, and Homie goes up into the air.
Small little mechanical thing that I really enjoyed there from CLGaming was how they tanked that purple buff. They moved it away knowing that Zapman would be able to toss the ability over the wall. Making sure that they tanked it out of his range was really important, and a small thing, but one of the things that continues to allow CLG to invade the enemy jungle. This is, I think, the third time in a row that we've seen CLG get both the red buff and at least the red buff. This time they also get the purple.
Through space and time used again. Homie now trapped in the portal and trying to escape through the Dharmic Pillars, but Defender of Olympus mitigated so much damage. Mass, though, finally is able to put an end to it with the Slice and Dice. Two-man taunt brings it back into Hurriwind's damage, but able to escape there was Metyankey. Beats had to be used, and Trifecta are on their way with a kill in tow.
fineokay used the teleport to show up in the middle lane. Not necessary, but ScaryD used his as well, so no harm, no foul there. Just kind of following up on the opposition. This time he actually can.
Yeah, a little bit easier for him to keep up with fineokay here than with the Athena, or fineokay on the Artio than the Athena from last game. But still, a little bit of an experience lead coming the way of fineokay so far. Probably those 2 kills are not hurting there, and just the direct matchup as well.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Going to be a nice laning phase for both of them. But when it comes time to team fight, that's really the interesting part of the game. That said, I think this is very different from game number 1. I don't think this is as solo lane centric as it was initially. I think that this is much more, we're looking at other players on the map. The junglers are a little bit more front and center, perhaps like we're used to compared to last game, where I really think it was fineokay versus ScaryD and their respective supporting casts.
I think there's a lot of pressure on Metyankey in particular this game because CLG have so much global, semi-global presence between the Rat and the Athena. How well that he's able to use the through space of time to sort of help mitigate that and keep up with them. I mean, I think it's going to be huge, or else CLG will have numbers advantages all game long.
And again, that's why that's one thing I'm not concerned with is Metyankey's decision making is fine.
Sure,
it's always been fine. He's a fine player. He looked great on Hunter. Moving over to middle lane, things like positioning and mechanics have sort of, made me question this move, but decision-making is fine, and I love him on those utility characters.
Trouble now for Snoopy, drops down the Caledonian Boar, but not going to deter Mask. Airstrike comes in as well, but Defender of Olympus keeps him alive. Now a chance to turn the tables. NeiruMah comes to the portal as well, but it's Zapman who falls to the damage. Finally, Hurriwind actually is the one that ends up falling as well to the damage from Mask.
Metyankey makes the rotation. I liked the timing of that rotation. Unfortunately, Zapman does fall to the wayside, but I think that's the right move coming out from the Trifecta middle laner. Metyankey looks good there. Also, shoutouts to John Finch. I think you are officially the only caster to have ever said Caledonian Boar in earnest during a live broadcast.
Everybody else says something else, I guess?
I mean, usually just Tusky, the pig, the war boar is one of my favorites, but I have never heard, I mean, one of my favorite, jokes is that Artemis's abilities are all ridiculous.
They are named pretty sillily, huh?
You've got Vengeful Assault, Suppress the Insolent, Transgressor's Fate, and Caledonian Boar, none of which lend themselves to good commentary. And then you straight up in the middle of the team fight, Caledonian Boar! I don't think I've ever heard that. 10 points.
I'll take those points. Put them with the rest of my Whose Line Is It Anyway points that I've already accrued. And
yeah, how's Drew Carey?
He's looking good lately. Have you noticed? He's actually been looking a lot better, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a decade ago, but okay.
Hey, I mean, you brought it up now, so I can only talk about it now, Tom. Jeez.
You've been waiting to talk about Drew Carey's weight loss for a decade.
We weren't on broadcast talking about Drew Carey 10 years ago.
Well, maybe you weren't.
Were you?
Definitely not.
Going in aggressive is Zapman. I'm saying going in aggressive. It's really Snoopy stripping his purple buff away as he's done all game long. Really trying to keep this Jing way down.
Yeah, death by 1,000 cuts. Just looking for bits and pieces here. The repeated left side invades from CLG have been extremely, extremely positive for them and what they've been trying to do here. 1,500 gold lead, give or take more like 1,300. But at the end of the day, that's really all they were doing was invading the jungle. This is their first big move here. Look at it, gold.
Mask is already chunked. He's not going to be able to help out in this fight at all. Gold Fury very low. Taunt to control Zapman. Through space and time off the mark. CLG get the Gold Fury. Can they save Jigz' life? It looks like no. fineokay wants to continue to try and chase Mask out, who's stuck around. Homie comes in with the big necessary ult to help get the last hit. ScaryD finds Hurriwind on the backside as well. 2 members have fallen for this Gold Fury so far, but they've evened it up with the kill on the NeiruMah.
ScaryD and Zapman still giving chase on to Snoopy. They can absolutely confirm this one as long as ScaryD tanks the tower, finds the kickflip. 7 for Trifecta, 3 after that one. But Metyankey in trouble here. Eesh.
Continues to get chased down by Homie and fineokay. So it really does end up being 3 for 3 overall. They kept that one even in the kill count, which means that it is not even because CLG got the Gold Fury. That's going to help push things a little bit more in their favor. In fact, using the Defender of Olympus, they're even going to be able to come over and aggress onto the Pyromancer. No one around from Trifecta. Yet another objective going the way of CLG.
I have repeatedly sat up here and commended NeiruMah for his instincts, and I think we saw a rare misplay from the rookie support here. The Gold Fury was at steel level, and he could have used the Dharmic Pillars right then and there to at least attempt to snatch away the objective. Now, I watched the team fight, and I kept that as a you know, on the back burner, just keeping that in mind, wanting to see where he chose to use the Dharmic Pillars after the fact, because at the end of the day, if you allow the objective to go in the other direction, but use that Dharmic Pillars to get the deicide, fantastic, good for you, you made the right choice. But I just didn't see the option for the ultimate later on, and so I would have liked to see the steal attempt rather than the attempt of the fight, because it just wasn't there.
Zapman uses airstrike to avoid getting stunned. Aegis has to come out from Snoopy. We also saw a great play from Neil in mid lane as through space and time comes out. It looks like it because Snoopy's very low, but no one else is going to continue to chase. But I want to make sure I point out, Metyankey didn't have beads in mid lane. The taunt came out from Jigz, and Hurriwind was right there to do more damage, but the silence from Neil gets him on out of there. There's really no other way really for Metyankey to have made it out.
Yeah, Metyankey clean stuff, being helped by NeiruMah, who, like I said, rare misplay.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's a judgment call. So just one that I don't agree with in retrospect. And frankly, NeiruMah might agree. It was one of those things where, like, I'm holding this for the better opportunity later on. There just wasn't the better opportunity. He was spread out from his team a little bit too much for the Dharmic Pillars to have a big impact.
And really good for CLG to be able to even that fight out so much, because it looked like initially they were going to have to give up a couple lives to make that Gold Fury happen. But fineokay was able to help chase down with Metyankey as forced to jump on out of there. They actually want to go into Zapman again in the duo lane. As Zapman had a moment to breathe, all set long, Snoopy is able to get the last hit.
And this is CLG just understanding who to fight. NeiruMah trying to run away from fineokay, and in tow is Scary D, but following him is Hurriwind. It's blue-red, but Trifecta will be allowed to walk away for the moment because red buff spawning.
And CLG want to continue taking away the jungle of Trifecta. Taunt on the mask controls him, but they are not able to actually confirm the buff. Our CLG. Scary D, though, is a potential to get collapsed on, but don't forget he's a tanky Hercules. Maybe not tanky enough. CLG lock him down long enough. NeiruMah gets hit by the hail of arrows. Hurriwind finds that one. 3 members of Trifecta down. CLG continue to look strong.
Snoopy's ultimate coming there in the clutch. Caledonian Boar, shout outs to you one more time. That one made the difference. The Artemis ultimate is really strong. And I don't want to say people forget about it. I think people forget about art in general. But Zapman Jump Squad back again.
Zapman, what can he do? I mean, what can he do differently? He's just trying to come back to his lane there, Tom.
Oh my God, that was... there. Do you remember, you've been a Smite fan for a long time,
right,
before you were able to step on the stage alongside of us, and there was a hi-rez versus pros where Brandon got camped at the Phoenix.
I remember he was on the Aphrodite, right? Trying to come back in the lane, yeah.
That's what this feels like. This feels like... And credit to CLG Gaming. Zapman's an asset to Trifecta, and keeping him down is important. There's a secondary part of that conversation, and I think that has to do with Zapman's personality.
Sure.
And by no means do I think that CLG Gaming is camping Zapman to tilt him. I think they're camping Zapman because a Jing being kept down is a good thing, specifically when piloted by Zapman.
It's kind of an added benefit, though, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of truth to the fact that they might be able to tilt Zapman, and I don't think that's guiding their hand, but they'll take it along the way.
Yeah, to Zapman's credit, man, if there were 3 members waiting for me there on my way back, it would certainly be a tilting factor, so I get where they're coming from.
Exactly.
Through space and time, though, doesn't really hit much of anyone, but it gets the whole team to the backside of the fight. Zapman's up in the air looking for a way to come down, but Mask is stuck in between too many members. fineokay gets the last hit. Meanwhile, Snoopy is trying to battle it out, and he does. Scary D ends up falling. The rest of the team from Trifecta have escaped, but CLG yet again come out on top.
Here's also a big thing. Well, NeiruMah going to be surrounded, and he'll just die there. May I see player damage real quick as CLG Gaming finishes the Gold Fury? And yeah, okay, Janus is actually dealing decent damage. My concern was that sometimes Janus doesn't find the damage in these early to mid-game portions, and really winds up coming through in the late game when he's able to really, like, 2/3 somebody with the unstable Fire Giant.
Yeah, why not, I guess. I mean, who's around? Metyankey doesn't have through space and time. Everyone else is dead or just now respawning. Fire Giant goes the way of CLG. And Tom, I'm not saying this game is over by any means, but I mean, CLG have looked great this set. And Trifecta, all credit to them, have been looking strong too, but CLG making it look not too difficult.
I think the truth of the matter, I'll be frank. You be Joe. I think that Trifecta has just sort of overperformed recently. And they are a good team. They are arguably a good team. I think it's harder to make the argument that they are a great team right now. In the future, I can absolutely see myself saying that. I have no doubt in Scary D Mask, Metyankey, NeiruMah, and Zapman to be a top-end team. Right now, I think they do pale in comparison to a squad like Counterlogic Gaming, and I think this is just reality setting in.
Some of it is, and I don't want to make this sound like an excuse, but some of it's just schedule. Who does Trifecta play today?
That's fair.
CLG and Space Station, right? So yes, they've been at the top, but to be fair, the hardest matchups were at the end for them.
Exactly.
So they would look best in the middle of the split because the toughest competition was at the beginning and the end for them.
Yeah,
straight
the schedule was certainly lopsided for Trifecta here. And like I said, this is a squad that I can see myself calling a number 1 or a number 2 team. Don't get me wrong. No disrespect to these guys whatsoever. But I think that Mask seems a little bit disjointed from the rest of the team sometimes. NeiruMah still a little bit fresh to the scene, although I have liked his play. And I still need more out of Zapman. We've gotten more from week number 1 from Zapman.
Right.
But I still need a little bit more. Counterlogic Gaming, I think, represents a team where everything is working on all cylinders. Game number 1, they had struggles. Trifecta looks great, and CLG was still able to turn it around. Game number 2, I mean, it's 7-14.
Oh, well, this is going to be a ton of trouble for Scary D. A whole team of CLG are collapsing on him. It feels like a zombie movie, and he's the car alarm that went off. CLG rushed towards him and took him down.
Yeah, I mean, he was just left for dead there on the right-hand side. Easy peasy. Tier 2 tower goes down, 1,500 in the pocket again for Counterlogic Gaming. And anytime you look at the over 10,000 mark,
It's rough.
yeah.
As a dog might say, Zapman's in the cripple field. Where can he go? Almost enough to keep him locked down. Does get stunned. He gets interrupted while he's in the air, so he can't dash. Forced to use airstrike.
Nice
Phoenix
play.
down as well. CLG have done a great job zoning Trifecta back.
I like that play from Zapman. Almost was able to get the kill on the support. Not going to be the case, however. Does chase fineokay all the way back and doesn't have the teleport. So it looks like a full retreat from Counterlogic Gaming. Trifecta, they don't defend the right side of Phoenix, but they do make sure that CLG can't get any more. That's as nice as you're going to get, I guess. 1 more minute left on Fire Giant, so they've got to find a way to occupy the time.
It would have been very difficult to have stopped CLG from doing much more than that. As you've already correctly identified, they're fighting into a tremendous gold lead at this point. It's about 15,000 now in CLG's favor, so it's a tall task for the boys at Trifecta, talented as they are, to try and slow down the CLG team. I mean, numbers are numbers, Tom.
Yeah,
that's a hot take from Finch.
Numbers are numbers.
Yeah,
It's almost as what's the word? Controversial as Anatoly's. He's so fast he makes other fast people look not fast.
that's an instant classic, courtesy Anatoly. Nobody out there like him.
That's the truth.
Well, we got him here with us, yeah. CLG, though, this is so important. I think I said earlier on in the broadcast that this would put them, even with Trifecta, I think I misspoke. This would put CLG a game ahead of Trifecta. Trifecta would then need to defeat later on Space Station just to get back to the same record number with them. So this is a really big game that CLG are very much on the precipice of winning right now. And Trifecta, who look like they are a strong contender for land coming into this, could suddenly have that snatched away. This certainly is not over in this game, and there's still plenty more games to play today. But CLG, this puts them in the best spot that they could hope for here, Tom, if they are able to clean it out. We're going to take the Gold Fury, clean up the rest of the jungle, and they've got 2 more Phoenixes to try to work through. And Trifecta have got to find a way to stop it. This is not how you do it, though. Taunt comes on the Zapman beads already used.
There's Zapman getting knocked up. Ultimate will be chased. Counterlogic Gaming can't catch up to that one, but no big deal. No harm, no foul. CLG's going to turn around and look for the gold. That one's going to go nice and easy. Fire Giant spawns in 15 seconds, so they're going to actually change their mind and split up.
Yeah, they've got Snoopy on the Artemis, so they don't need anyone else there to help do the Gold Fury. Send the rest of the squad over to Fire Giant. Easy peasy. Zapman is going to be without beats. Another 130 seconds, though. If they get the Fire Giant and force the fight soon enough, he had to use airstrike, too. Depending on how quickly CLG start the fight, he could easily be a target for them.
Fire Giant, uncontested here. Last licks, looking at the itemization for us commentators, because I think we're towards the end of this one, folks. Something about the 20,000 gold lead, the doubling plus of kill count, etc., makes me think we're close to the end. But
Another hot take.
Hurriwind's breaking my heart here. The transcendence into the Chin Sai is just never a look I like. Listen, I understand. The idea is that ability-based hunters do well in the early and mid-game, and then late game, it's all about the basic attacks. I would have liked to rather see this kind of go into the way of Critical Strike instead, because he is getting amplified attack speed by way of the support players, Shogun's Kasari, but you're 20,000 gold up. I just don't think it matters.
Yeah.
I think as long as you buy the pointy stuff, it's gonna work at this point. So again, following the mentality of Hurriwind, I mean, obviously he knows just as much as everybody else, if not more. I think the mentality is that the trans boots crusher, that's me early and mid game, and then late game Chin Sai comes through. I've got some additional attack speed, etc. But interesting stuff. Last item of note also, the Sunda on NeiruMah.
That's something that Trifecta has been doing relatively often. I
Yep.
actually say we see them picking it up, and actually I think it's upgraded too, so they
Yep.
really want to make sure they've got this Sunder. NeiruMah gonna see if he can make use of it here up against CLG.
It's an option to just blow players up. You saw Peggy's mouse over it real quick. 20% extra damage, but they have to find the target first. It's Counterlogic Gaming that have Trifecta right in their targets, however, as they start the fight.
Homiefe lands on the backside. His target initially was Metyankey, but Scary D has found fineokay, and
Nice
they're
ult.
pushing them back. Homie now is incredibly low, takes an extra Phoenix shot as well, and CLG are on the run. Trifecta show up in the defense big time.
NeiruMah, that's what Sunder does, baby. fineokay, he's got 6 full items, 20% extra damage taken. By the way, that's in addition to the fact that it's going to deal 15% raw damage just like that as true damage. This is a great item to find a target, isolate it, destroy it. They did that to fineokay, and because of that, CLG didn't have the team fight control that they had in the other option, in the other exchanges like they did last time around on the right-hand side. fineokay falls down, the rest of the team retreats, and that's a great win for Trifecta there.
They also committed a lot on the Zapman early, probably thinking like I did that he would be a good target for them based on where they caught him in duo early, but he instantly goes into the airstrike. He's safe, he's up out of the fight, and all that stuff has already been used on him.
Yep.
So not only do they blow up fineokay on the backside, but Zapman, the one that they try and dive onto, is okay as well. CLG, though, they are grouping back up here again, it looks like. At least they're pushing up the wave in duo.
Zapman's been the target the entire game, trying to keep him down. Now he's level 20, but the big deal, you can see it, he's only got 5 items, right? And he just finished that 5th. So being able to keep him down and out has been a good look for him so far.
Gonna be a bit of a split. They're gonna let Homie push the minions up in mid while the rest of the team is in duo. Metyankey gonna be lurking over the walls, trying to find some unstable vortexes, but so far not been able to hit him. Homie still has not rotated either. He's gonna keep trying to split their focus.
I love this. I love this. The 4-1 push, so standard, trying to drag players away from the left side team fight. The Counterlogic Gaming, soft starting here. Basically, Homiefe says, you have to pay attention to me, otherwise I solo the Phoenix, but at any point in time, I can ult and join the left side team fight without losing much.
Mask was pulled away, and the target's gonna be Scary D blown up. Through space and time, chunks Hurriwind, though. He's incredibly low, might not even matter. Snoopy takes down NeiruMah. Scary D lands on the backside, or rather it's Homie, and his target's gonna be Metyankey, who's forced to portal away. Mask falls as well. Zapman joins him in the grave. Metyankey is done as well. Full deicide. They may have hit Hurriwind with the through space and time, but CLG won the team fight. Phoenix down. CLG very likely gonna take the set as well.
Very likely, you say, huh? I mean,
I think it's pretty likely.
I mean, it might take 19 seconds. All right, I'm just playing here, folks. But that was one of the better team fights that Trifecta actually had access to. They cut players down with the Janus ultimate.
Yep.
They had a lot there going, but again, the 4-1 split, we see this so often from teams because it's so effective. The jungler with the long range or with the ability to join the team fight a little bit later, just Homiefe from the mid, pops over to the left and goes, so you've cut down a lot of my teammates. What if I knock everyone up and destroy you guys? So great stuff from Homiefe at the end.
What a clean play they were able to make there onto the Phoenix at the end of the game. CLG, clean is the word I want to use for that whole set, really. They looked strong up against Trifecta, and CLG kind of hit maybe like a bit of a speed bump there in the middle of this split is kind of the
Sure.
best way to say it. But he dropped a bit down from what we expected, but certainly coming out strong here on the final day.
I think we always see the CLG, whether the group of players of Hurriwind and Jigz and Homiefe to a certain extent.
Right.
I think we always see them start hot and end hot, and that middle,
Right.
it's kind of like the opposite of a good sandwich. You got hot on the outside and cold on the inside. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna wind up towards the top, it's all that matters, baby.
Well, who was the MVP for you in that game? And a lot of people you can choose from that CLG time. In game 1, I was right there with you on CLG or with Snoopy, but I don't know this time. I mean, Homie looked great for him in that last fight, or the whole game really.
This was a Homiefe for me. Just the ability to go ahead, make an impact in team fights, make an impact around the map. Homiefe looked great on the Ratatoskr.
Homie looked great that whole time. CLG are going to take the set. Let's actually go ahead and get back over to the desk. We'll let Hindu Man and totally break it down.
Well, the race is still going then, especially with CLG taking that 2-0. They put themselves so far in prime position. We'll show you the standings soon. But first of all, let's break it down. Game 1 went handily to an extent to CLG. Game 2, where was the turning point?
It was honestly that double kill onto Zapman. They kill him once there. He kind of got bamboozled there by 4 players. And then a great tactic there from CLG. They didn't back. They waited around the jungle, waited for him to come back. Caught him again with Jigz dash taunting there. Doesn't matter if it's Jigz or fineokay playing the Athena. It seems that CLG heavily prioritized this pick, and for good reason. They get a great engagement.
So flexible, totally. I guess that's one of the reasons Athena's starting to see more light of the day now, you know, because we've seen them in Europe being prioritized for the support role mainly. Now and again in the jungle, and even in the solo. But once again, we see North American doing the same thing.
It's just so safe and standard. You can't really go wrong with this Athena pick. CLG now currently at 6-4 with a +2.
+2, and that +2 is going to be slightly impactful. We'll get to that in a minute, but the one thing to show you is Snoopy is MVP for that game. A lot of talk from the casters, though. They believed it could have been fineokay, could have been Homiefe, was a big talking point there, but people like KDA.
I mean, honestly, Snoopy was flashy towards the end there. You know, he held the left click. Hard stuff there when you got Jigz going in for you. But not stop taking pot shots at him. He definitely played out of his mind there. Doesn't matter if he was the Jing or the Artemis there. He was just really in control the whole time. Even when he was one level behind Zap, he was never really out of the equation.
Soloed. That's what you say about that player there. That was clear as day, but a bit of a team fight look here. Ball comes down and the ping pong begins if required, keeping people zoned away. So that's a nice easy one. Boring to trap, one of the classic Artemis.
And it was unfortunate there for Scary D. He couldn't really do anything here on the Hercules against an Artio, against an Artemis. You're basically stuck forever.
Yeah. You can't be able to drive and strike away or even just slow down those auto attacks. So in essence, a well-crafted comp from CLG there for that game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They just basically outdrafted. Even though they did have a double physical 100 composition, the rest of their cast was really well designed towards shutting down Scary D's Herc.
Let's give you an update then of the standings. Let's have a look at those in North America. Still 2 games to play today. And if you check out North America on the screen, now at the moment, United is in 4th there. It should be a little bit higher than that because the game wins mean they're actually up there in 3rd, just above Trifecta now. The game plus minus is what is impactful going forward. But CLG Gaming, because they have that win, totally, they hold the lead. So if Space Station have 2 sets today, if they beat both Trifecta and United in the following sets, it's CLG going to land.
That's true. CLG still need to kind of hope and pray right now that United are not successful.
Yeah, very tricky situation to see what's going to happen there later on today. Who have you got favourites today?
United against Space Station?
No, just overall, who do you think's going to go? CLG's going to make it now?
I think United still has a chance.
Against SSG?
Yeah.
You must be mad.
I think so.
Well, that game's coming up after this break, so stand by. We'll be back momentarily with Space Station versus United.